name's Lauren and I am from South Africa, and on this day I am 100 days in India. I am just about to go home fistula free and I still can't believe it. So my journey started in 2014, so more than 10 years ago when I got my first abscess. I had no idea what was going on. I was rushed to hospital, and after one surgery was told that everything would be fine. And that was the beginning of a lot of recurring abscesses. So between the years of 2014 to 2018, I was hospitalized 18 times to have an evaluation under anesthetic and to drain these recurring abscesses. I was under the care of a colorectal surgeon, so a CRS, and I do understand that at that stage it was getting to the point where we needed to do some further investigations. So an MRI was done, and what he found was a 19 centimeter horseshoe abscess within my perianal space. And well, the only thing he could say to me is that we need a major intervention. So I then went in for my 19th operation, which was to have a colostomy bag and basically to cut out and remove that abscess. This was supposed to give me relief and resolution, and I was full of hope. I recovered really quickly and I was positive, and after 4 months we reversed the colostomy bag and my wound had healed really well with the help of a VAC negative pressure wound healing machine, and I was ever hopeful for a future without any abscesses. Needless to say, a year later I was in pain again. I had fever, and I just felt that we were back at square one. And due to the nature of a fistula that was going through my sphincter muscles, abscesses kept on recurring. And so by the time I got to 2024, the number of surgeries that I had endured, and by no means is it something to be proud of. It is much easier in South Africa to be, if you're in private Medicare or medical aid, to have a colorectal surgeon look after you and to do an EUA. I know in some other countries it's very difficult to even get on a surgery list, so I count myself lucky that in the times that I was ill, that I was assisted. But unfortunately, techniques were limited, and all they could do for me was drain the abscess and give me temporary relief of the pain. So what would then happen on a regular basis is that because of the fistula tract, I learned later that I had 3 of them. Because of the fistula tract, I was constantly getting new collections and abscesses, and those needed to be drained. So obviously within the 10 years there's a lot of life that happens, but let's skip over that and let's just say that December 2023, we were just about to go on a holiday, and the day before I had a new abscess form and I was feeling very ill. So needless to say, the whole holiday was cancelled. I was in bed. I had to go into the emergency room and I had to have another EUA and a drainage. And over Christmas and New Year, while I lay in bed and my family were having dinners without me, feeling terrible for me, but there was nothing I could do, I searched in desperation for someone to talk to about this condition. This is not something that you can share with your family and friends. Nobody really knows what a fistula is. Nobody really understands it, let alone our surgeons. And so I decided to look for a friend, and I searched on the internet and I found a previous patient of Healing Hands named Julie Rogers, and she had come to India I think 2 years before me, and she had had a very positive experience. And so I reached out to her, and I found her on a Facebook forum, and I reached out to her, and we started discussing the technique and the opportunity of traveling to another country to have medical treatment, which in itself was something quite bizarre to me, because, well, in South Africa, we've transplanted the first heart. It doesn't make sense that there's something that we can't do. So needless to say, I spent some time, I think it was about a year, planning, saving, preparing my mind. And in that time, I do feel I just want to share that when you are searching for answers on the internet, you're bound to find negative. And I myself was at a crossroad where I felt I needed to either believe that there was hope or to leave the option alone. I was contacted by people, I was encouraged by people, there was positive and negative, but at the end of the day, the information was there for me to choose if I wanted to. I met a dear friend, Shelley, on the forum, and together we decided that we didn't have any good options other than to pack our bags and to come to India and to give Dr. Ashwin Porwal our commitment and to give him our complete trust. And so we agreed and we booked our flights. I have never, ever in my life been treated at a hospital with so much care, from you'll learn the maushies, to the nurses, to the staff, to the receptionists, to the ladies that look after you on a 3 times a week basis to clean you, to the admin. You are so well looked after at this hospital. In fact, the day I arrived, I actually was quite ill and didn't know who to turn to because I traveled alone. So I phoned the hospital and they booked me in with no questions, and they treated me for something totally unrelated to the surgery that I was here for. Needless to say, I needed a little bit of encouragement in the beginning, and Dr. Porwal himself phoned me and encouraged me and said, we understand that you are ill, you will never be put in a position of ill care, so when you're ready we will do your surgery, but please don't give up hope. And that phone call really changed my understanding of who was going to be looking after me for the next 3 months. So the process is as expected. It's a couple of surgeries, so you'll have anesthetic, you'll have needles, you'll have a little bit of pain, but there's nothing, absolutely nothing that they can't handle here. In fact, I believe, and I speak from experience, that they go above and beyond. And if they see something while they are working, and especially Dr. Porwal, if he sees something while he's working, he will go above and beyond and fix what needs to be fixed, so that you leave completely fistula free and cured. So I believe that this technique that Dr. Porwal has, in my mind, is the next wonder of the world. It is something that we wish we could replicate everywhere. Unfortunately, that's not possible. There's one man that is just gifted and is so committed to the process. I really believe that I received royal treatment while in India. I managed to get around and to order food and to settle into life in India. Even while I was having surgeries, it was very manageable. I would really like to encourage anybody who has battled with this condition and who doesn't know where to turn, to go and have a look at the websites that are available, to reach out to people who have been to India before, because there is no doubt in my mind that this is the best decision I have ever made with regards to my health. And I'm so grateful that this one man has decided to dedicate his life to helping patients like us. It's amazing to meet people around you and peers who are going through the same thing, because in your own country it feels as though you'll never meet someone with this condition. So if I can encourage anybody by this testimonial, there is such a network of patients who have been here before that are very willing to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that you'll experience, prepare you for your trip. Please don't feel that you can't reach out to any of us, because we really have had a wonderful experience here. And of course it's surgery, and of course there are going to be days that are going to be hard, but if you know that you're working towards something tangible and you know you're working towards being cured, it's all worth it. India is a wonderful place. Everybody's very kind. The traffic is chaos, but you will be absolutely in the best hands that you could be if you have a fistula. I did forget to mention my diagnosis. So I had a grade 5 complex horseshoe abscess with 3 fistulas. And so if that rings any bells for you, and if that is where you're sitting and you don't know where to turn, perhaps you're waiting for surgery and they're wanting to give you a colostomy bag, really there are other options. And I cannot stress enough how cared for, and everybody admired me for my bravery to come to India, and whereas it should have been the other way around. They really look after you, they will cure you, and all you have to do is just believe and commit to the process and to enjoy the trip. So to all my Indian friends here at Healing Hands Clinic that taught me to say namaste, and to my special friend Noam, who would have liked me to have said this whole testimonial in Xhosa, I'm going to say goodbye. Salaka kukhle.